What is going on YouTube? Patrick here, and in today's video I'm going to be going over all of the items that I sold last week. Holy cow, you guys, it was a great week. I have thought the last couple weeks were really good. I was this close to cracking $1,000 in sales last week. We hit $978 in sales, 24 items sold. Holy cow. Part of that is 2 items were pretty big dollar items. One sold for almost $200 and one sold for $150. Going to have a little bit higher cost of goods sold though as well because I paid up for one of them because it was a commission to Matt. Thank you, Matt. But let's get into it. Let's go this week. All right, there's the first item. It was some toys. These are Jurassic Park dinosaurs. They're velociraptors, right? This was part of a 4-pack from Target. I found 3 of them at Savers. Just looking for that JP mark on the legs, right? You guys will probably find these as well. I've definitely found some I didn't buy because they were beat up. But that's just the way they go sometimes. I paid about $4 for these, and I thought they'd be worth about $30. I ended up selling them for $25, so feeling pretty good about that, right? $4 into $25. Not unhappy with that at all. All right, item number 2 this week. This one was a quick one. I picked this up at Mike Golick's estate sale, right? And I think I ended up paying about $5 for it, something like that. Just like $4 to $5. It's always hard to tell because I paid $70 for everything, so I just have to kind of randomly assign by how much I think these items are worth a cost. So it was about $5, and I thought it was worth about $20, and it sold within a couple hours for the full $20. So really nice, easy flip there, you guys. Item number 3, if you guys can't guess, this is the sale of the week, right? This was, again, from Mike Golick's house. I have no idea what they were charging for this, honestly. It was just in a basket of video games. It was brand new. I think when I went over my items last week, I thought I might be able to get like 120 for it. And I noticed that within a couple of days that there were people selling them for around 200 with free shipping. And I was like, what the heck? I am going to shoot for the moon on this thing. So that's what I did. Listed it for 200 with free shipping. I shipped it priority mail with insurance, and I did signature required on it. So it cost me a little bit more to ship, about $15. Otherwise, I could have made probably another $5 to $10 on this. I'm not going to worry about that, you guys. It sold within a couple hours, nearly $200, and I was into it for next to nothing. I did assign a cost of $30 to this, right? I would not have minded paying $30 for this if I could have sold it for $180. And that's just like, again, I was trying to do the relationship from between how much it was worth and then how much I paid in total at that estate sale. So $30 into $185, that is awesome, right? All right, item number 4 this week. This, again, Mike Golick's house. This place, I sold a bunch of stuff already, and I've still got some things that I need to list. It ended up being really good. 21-day fix. This is a Beachbody fitness DVD. There was actually 2 DVDs in here. I actually wasn't going to buy this. Amber was like, hey, maybe you should take a look at that. And I was like, all right. It looked kind of junky, right? It looked like it was included with something else. Did a really quick look up on eBay. And sure enough, selling for like $25 to $30. I listed it for $28, and it sold within a couple hours for $28. The money I assigned to this, or cost I assigned to this, was $6. All right, the next one is a mini item. My mother-in-law. So we haven't had these in a couple weeks, but we helped my in-laws clean out Grandma's house. And up in the attic, Dave and I found a bunch of old toys that Grandma had put away for whatever reason. And he had known they were up there. We'd been talking about this for a couple of years. And sure enough, I went and looked a couple of them up, and it looked like a gold mine. Sure enough, that's what these have been. We have sold probably like $600-700 worth of this stuff. Just a crazy amount for what there really was. There wasn't that much of it. Maybe like 50 pieces, maybe less. But something like that, right? Maybe it was even more than that. Maybe it was $1,000. Who knows? I haven't done a full reconciliation of it. But, right, since it's consignment, I'm doing 40% to me, 40% to Minnie, and then 20% goes into fees and supplies and that kind of thing. But this one sold for $30. And, right, so I'm going to get $12, and Minnie's going to get $12. Thank you, Minnie. All right, and I talked about this where Matt, he had asked me to sell some stuff for him. And most of the stuff he brought over was good high dollar items that was right in my wheelhouse where I would have been happy to pick these up if I had found them out in the wild. So definitely happy to help him out with this. This was actually the first thing I listed and the first thing I sold, and it was the highest dollar value of it. We had thought so when he bought this, I was actually there, and he wanted to take half of it for himself, and then he wasn't sure if he wanted to resell the other half or what. But the listings were like $100, something like that. And so I decided I'm just going to list it for 150. Let's see if it sells. Sure enough, within about a week of me listing it, maybe even less, right? Because I don't think I had these last week. So it was within the first week of listing it, it sold for full price, which is crazy. So right, there's going to be $60 to me and $60 to Matt. So great sale. Thank you, Matt. All right, getting into the next item. It is some books, right? I think I talked about this in the last video I did, where the estate sale that I had gone to had all these books on Saturday, and it looked like they wanted about $1 each, which I wasn't interested in paying $1 because that's approximately what they were worth. So I was like, I'll come back on Sunday. It was really close to our house. We'll just take a look and see if they're still there. Sure enough, they were. I think most of them were still there. Nobody was really interested in buying them, which was great for me because I was able to negotiate a great rate. And she was like, "Excuse me," for she wanted $20 for the Louis L'Amour and $20 for the other author. And I was like, "Great." There's over 100 of the Louis L'Amour books. I think they're $1 each, right? $30 or $20 into over $100. Done. And I wasn't sure how fast these were going to move, right? I thought maybe they might take a little while. And I'm like, no problem. They're already in shoe boxes. So easy to put in my storage unit and just store. No big deal. They sold kind of right away. This first lot of them, it was only, I think, 18 of these. And I listed them for, I think, $35 with free shipping. Can't see the pictures, as usual. And so after shipping, I think it was ended up being like $6 for media mail shipping, something like that. So $29 for 18 books. Great deal there. I put a cost on here of about $10, right? If I paid $40 for everything, I was just like, who knows how much there I really should be assigning to each of these lots. I'm probably going to list the Louis L'Amours in about 30. So I've got 3 more lots of 30 that I can list. But yeah, $10 into $29 for books, super easy. Not like the hugest profit in the world, but it was a fun little sale. All right, we're gonna do these pretty quickly because there was 2 more Dawn items that sold. So I listed this one, and then like a long time ago actually, and then this second one that after the exact same one sold earlier this week. I mean, there was 2 of this set of clothes, and I think this is the one that got the search kind of going. Uh, it actually sold for a little bit less. The lady was like, "Hey, if I buy 2, can I get a discount?" And I wasn't really interested in this much of a discount, but I was feeling good. I was like the bluebell dress had sat a little bit longer than the rest of them, and so had the slicker. So I was like, you know what? Let's just do this. Get these out. Get some money in our pockets. Get some money more money for the family. So right, this one sold for the first one sold for $20, and then the blue bell sold for 22 after shipping and all that stuff was together. And then so it'll be about what, 15 $16 I think, $17 to Minnie and $17 to me. So not too bad there. All right, this one I was really happy about because it was about a month ago. We went to an estate sale not very close to here. It's about a little, maybe an hour, 30 minutes, something like that away from here. But it was like still pretty cold outside when this one went on, and the place was packed. And down in the basement, I found these 2 dusty old units. Didn't really know what they were, but I was like, I'm gonna look them up. They wanted $20 each on them, so I was like, I better really know that I'm gonna be able to sell these. And I just was like, you know what? They look like they're gonna sell. And I didn't find the model number when I was first going through it, so I was going based on just the brand name. So I thought that maybe they might be worth like $150. And then I got home and I discovered that this unit wasn't worth quite as much as those others were. And I thought, oh, heck. And there really weren't even any comps on eBay that were used. So I was like, okay, I'm just going to shoot high. I'm going to list it for like $80. And immediately I started getting offers in the $20 range, which, oh, that makes you feel like you've really messed up. But I was like, you know what? I don't have any reason to want to sell these super fast. I'm going to leave them up. The first one sold, I think, about a week ago, something like that, and it sold for the full price of 80. And then for this one, I got an offer of 60. So like maybe 65, must have been 65. And here's the technique you guys can implement in your business if you want. If I'm like, I want to sell this now, I'll do let's meet in the middle, right? So I wanted 80, they offered me 65. I'll like, what's $15 divided by 2? 750. So I said, let's do 62.50 and or 72.50, excuse me. I can't do math apparently. And they took it. They took the offer. So I was like, all right, so I'm only down $7.50 lower than I thought I was going to be, right? That's not very much money, you guys, right? Especially when I can get that money in my pocket today. So that's what I did. I paid $20 for this, sold it for $72.50. Very happy with this flip, you guys. Very happy. All right, getting into this next one. This is another recent acquisition. I think I just talked about this last weekend from the estate sales, right? Was one of these that we went through the entire house. It looked like it had been mostly picked over, but Amber was waiting for me down in like the younger person's room. There was like drums and stuff in there. And sure enough, she had found a VCR. And so I looked it up and I thought it didn't have a good sell-through rate, meaning the number of listings versus the number of solds. I think there was only like one or two that had sold and there was like five that were listed. But I was like, for $5, I'm just going to pick this up. And I was like, I'll list it at 50 and maybe I'll take an offer of like 35, 40, 45, somewhere in that range. But then it sold for full price, you guys. Just ridiculous sometimes how this stuff works. All right, up next. This is another matte item. So this was just in that lot of stuff. I'd actually never seen this Diablo 2 tabletop game before. But it was basically brand new. He looked like he had kind of flipped through it. Maybe it was a gift to him. I don't know. May have just been one of those things where you buy it and you're like, this is super cool, I'll play this, and then you don't. I definitely have some things like that in my collection. Needless to say, I thought it was going to be about $40, and it ended up selling within a few days for the full price of $40. So $16 to Matt, $16 to me. Thanks, Matt. All right. This is one that I got actually like, I think in the late morning and maybe early afternoon at a Goodwill that I haven't found a lot of stuff at lately. And one of my buddies on here, right? You know who you are. You saw this in the video, and you're like, "Oh, that's at my Goodwill. I can't believe it was there." Uh, and I think it was priced at like $2.99. So $2.99. I sold it for $50. Right? These VCRs have just become super hot right now. I'm still watching a bunch of other channels, right? I'm sure you guys are as well. And I'm seeing people pass these up. And yet they're buying items that they're gonna sell for $10, $15, $20. And I'm like, why are you passing up VCRs? I mean, they are very popular right now, and they're selling fast. So it's like their value on them is staying high, and I think they're going to continue to be high. My prediction is by next year you're not going to see them pretty much anywhere because all of the reselling community will have figured it out that these have money. But we'll see. We'll see. All right. This next item I had found at my local savers that I love to go to on Saturday mornings. I was shocked to find it. I think I even had this in the thumbnail picture for that day's live thrifting video. It took a little longer to sell than I was expecting, and I thought I was going to get a little more. I thought I would probably get more like $70 with free shipping, and so probably be take home about $60, and it ended up selling for $60 with free shipping. So after shipping, it's going to be about $46, $47, something like that. It went somewhere where, of course, the shipping cost me a little bit more. What are you going to do? But I was only into it for about $10, right? So $10 turning it into $46. That's a little bit more than 20%, but not much more. Solid flip. Very happy with that profit there. All right, this one, not as good. I had thought I would be able to sell this for about $14 with free shipping to get about $10 out of it. When I realized that it's actually only selling for about $7. And then, of course, the price on the shipping ended up being a little bit more than I was thinking, so I only got about $6.50 on it. They were priced, though, at about, I think it was $1. So not too bad. Turn the dollar into $6.50. Not going to be the best sale of the week. All right, this next item up here is a camera. This was one that I had picked up at a sale, I think a year or two ago, and I was using it on eBay, you guys. And only in like the last year have I switched away from using this camera and using my cell phone now. My iPhone just has a better camera. I was getting better pictures with this phone than I was ever getting with that camera. Even though I think technically the camera has higher megapixels, Not sure anymore, but for sure my phone's getting better pictures. So I'm like, all right, what am I doing holding on to this? I was like, let's have a little trial period where I'm going back and forth between the two, and I'm just not going to switch back. The phone is giving me way better pictures. So I was like, all right, let's figure out how much it's worth and list it up. So I listed it for 40. It probably was listed for like 2, 3 weeks, something like that, and then it sold for my full asking price. I have no idea what I paid for this originally. It probably wasn't a lot, probably like $5, something like that. I probably had to invest a little bit more for an SD card and maybe a new battery and a charger, something like that. But I got a good amount of use out of it, so I've set this at $0, right? So $40 from zero, always a good flip. All right, up next, another book. This one I think I ended up getting at Savers for $3.99, and then I got my 20% off, so it ended up being about $2.40. No, $3.40. And I knew it would be about a $10 flip. I had thought maybe it would be a little bit more. I really like this series. Probably not going to be the best flip for books, right? You really want to find these at garage sales, right? You want to pay that quarter, 50 cents, maybe $1, right? To get that $1 into a $10 flip. But I liked having it. And I read through it a little bit. I looked at all the pictures that are inside. They had really neat drawings of the story. So not a bad flip. Just again, this one's not going to be in sale of the week either. All right, I had Amber do a little recording for me. So
Amber's Weird Sale of the Week.
and here we go. A couple weeks ago, I was at Savers and I bought some bakeware. I think that's what you would call it, right? So there was a Pampered Chef stoneware, and then I had bought some Temptations by Terra stuff. All of it had to go in the garbage because it was cracked. But the lid, I think I had told you guys, the lid actually was not cracked and it was in good shape. And so I was like, well, when in doubt, part it out. So I looked up just the lids, and sure enough, there was one that was exactly like this that had sold for $25. So I was like, all right, sell similar. I listed it for $25. About within a week, I got off for $20, and I was like, you know what? Let's take this money and run. So of course the money invested is going to be a little bit higher. It ended up being about, I think, $11 is what the price was on the full unit. So then 20% off of that, it's going to be probably more like $10, something like that. So $10 into 20 is not the greatest, but this is more of a salvage, right? I'm trying to salvage something out of this that would have been a total loss otherwise. So I'm very happy that I sold this for what I did. All right, getting into some of the smaller stuff, and then we'll be done. But in the fall, I picked up a bunch of books at Savers. I think they ended up being like $1.99 for two. They were in hanging bags, but they were old 1980s stuff, which I thought was really cool. So I was like, I'm going to buy these. There was Indiana Jones, Battlestar Galactica, The Black Hole, and I've just been shipping them out in these little flat mailers, basically, like cardboard mailers. So there's a little protection, enough to get it there. I haven't had any complaints. And right, I'm not going to get rich on these, but they were super cool to have. So I was into this for $1 and I sold it for $7. So not too bad. All right, some Infinity stuff. You guys know that I really love Skylanders and Infinity, and I love Amiibo, which I never find. Hopefully, continue to keep looking and finding some Amiibo. But Infinity I find all the time. Skylanders I find all the time. Both of them have the same type of rules in my mind about, which is there's a couple that are worth some money, not a lot. But then mostly it's the bundle, right? So you want to be able to get them cheap, 25 cents, right? Something like that. And then you can put them in a bundle of like 5 to 10, group by genre or by type, right? So Disney's or Marvel's or Star Wars. And then the same thing with the Skylanders, maybe group by game, or maybe just make a huge bundle. I like to make the huge bundles usually for those. But if you get them cheap enough, then that bundle price is going to be where you get it. So for this one, I was into it for $2 for 9 figures, basically, right? There's that 25 cents basically cost. And then I sold it for $21, right? So $2 into $21, all of a sudden it's a good flip. If I was trying to price these out individually, I probably wouldn't be able to get more than like $2 each, something like that. But people like to buy these big bundles for whatever reason, and I'm happy to keep selling them. So, all right, this item here is actually a personal item again. This one my mom gave me back in the 80s for like a birthday or Christmas or something like that. And so it has a little bit of nostalgia and a little bit of emotional attachment to it since my mom has been gone for 10 years. But I was like, why am I holding on to this case? I have plenty of pictures and other memories of my mom. I don't need this case. I've been offloading all of my old nests that I've just been holding on to until I worked on it, but that's not going to happen. So I'm like, let's list all these Nest games, and I'm like, the cases have got to go. I did have one other case that was smaller that I'm holding on to. I'm like, all right, I'll keep one. I don't need both of them. So I was like, listed at 20. I found a box that actually fit pretty well on it, and sure enough, I got the $20 out of it. So no cost here, right? This has been in my possession for almost 40 years. Zero cost. All right. This one also had a little bit of emotion with it. This was sitting up on my shelf, and Toto, my cat who has passed away, she actually, I caught her sleeping on it a couple times. So I had to take the lint roller to it before we shipped it out, and of course it was like saying goodbye to her again. So a little bit of emotional attachment there, but I picked this up I think at Goodwill about like 1 or 2 months ago. It's been a while, and it just sat and sat. I expected it to sell a little bit faster. I thought when I bought it I could probably get about $20 for it, something like that. And I think they had it marked at like $8 to $10, something like that. So not a great flip. I think I was probably grasping for straws, right? I was just looking for something to buy so that I'd have some stuff to sell. So not going to be my best flip. I did sell it for more than I thought, though. I sold it for $25. So profit. All right. Next to last here, this one is another mat item. So this one's Spell and Magic book. This is an old 1990s Dungeons and Dragons book. I thought it would probably sell for about $30. It sold for $35 with free shipping. Ended up being about $31. So Matt's going to get $12.40, and I'm going to get $12.40. Thanks, Matt. All right, and then the last item of the week, another lot of Louis L'Amour books. This was like I was telling you, I was going to list them for $30 books for $30, and then plus shipping on top of that. So I shipped it out media mail for probably like $5. So they paid like 35, something like that. And right, I put a price on this of about $9. I don't know why I put a $9 price on it when I paid $20 for the whole lot. I think probably what I ended up doing was I bought the books and then I bought a Connect device for the Xbox, and I was like, I paid too much for that, so I was probably trying to shift some of the cost over onto the books. That's just how it goes sometimes for me. I'm just trying to justify buying some of these things that I probably shouldn't have bought. I probably shouldn't have bought that Connect, and so I had to lose some of my profits on the books. But into it for $9 and sold for 30, right? So about $21 in profit, and then even after fees, I should do pretty well. So all in, like I said, $978 in sales, and I thought I was going to be about 913. So I actually came in higher. Mostly it was due to that Mario game. I thought it was going to be about 120, and I sold it for 185. So that was a big part of that there. Cost of goods sold this week was $250. So a little bit higher than usual, but that's because of commissions, right? I'm trying to do the 40-40-20, and then yeah, that's just the way it's going to be. Otherwise, I wasn't into it for very much after that, and I'm going to continue to do commissions. I like helping people out, and I don't have to go out and source, which, granted, I love to do. But it's also still like late winter. I guess we're technically in spring now, but there's not garage sales really going on here in Connecticut yet. So I'm still mostly going thrifting. We've had a couple of weekends where we were able to go to an estate sale or two, and then of course last weekend I went to a bunch of estate sales. But yeah, I'm just gonna keep trying to get inventory any way I can and helping friends out too. So let's see. My wife and I spent about 12 and a half hours working on eBay last week. And so after fees and cost of goods sold, we're going to come in at $46 an hour for our profits. So really good week, you guys. Like, of course, I would love to be here every week, right? I want to have $1,000 weeks every week. My goal right now as a part-time reseller, though, I would like to be consistently at $700 a week. So basically $100 a day. That's a really fair trade-off, I think. So that's going to do it this week, you guys. If you've enjoyed this, please do hit that like button. And if you're interested in more content like this, feel free to subscribe. We're going to continue to do basically 3 videos a week going forward. I'm going to continue to try and work in some how-to videos, but I haven't done a very good job of that, you guys. But once again, my name is Patrick, and thank you very much.